found this in a skip yesterday. I'm getting the edging in, right, so we can focus. Right. Bit of sun on that. Let's see if we can get a focus in on the non-stick. Look, you're getting it there, aren't you? It's different. May not be able to focus in on it, but look, I'll turn it over and see, give a bigger clue. You might get better clues now. And in the centre has that hairy bikers weld in the centre there. So if you live in the UK, you're getting to know what kind of thing it is I'm holding. Hairy bikers weld. Now, that's a big clue as to what it is I'm holding, thus found in said skip. Yesterday, when I was on my way to the shop to get a jar of coffee, and I happened to walk down the road. I was just walking down the usual road to go to the shop, and there was a skip outside one of the houses, right? That is the only mark on it. That slight residue type mark there, just underneath where the handle joins it, right? That is the only one, and I'd probably get rid of that with a Brillo pad, right? But the point I'm making is, say that, I'll get rid of that. It's already been in the sink. I've already given it a proper washing up liquid wash with a non-abrasive brush, right? And it's come up next to perfect bar that, which I'd have to use a Brillo pad on, right? But because it's on the underside, I'll be able to use Brillo pad on it, won't it? It'll come up thus perfect, won't it? But I've just, as I say, I only used a washing liquid sink wash, soaked it overnight, and I've got everything bar that off. Look, see that where the handle joins, right? You know what it is now, don't you? See how the handle joins? It's one of them really nice ones, and it's not got a mark on it. See where the handle joins, the actual thing itself. You can tell it's never been used, can't you? There's not a single bit of corrosion on it, even on the handle. Normally, when things have been used slightly of this nature, you tend to get corrosion round the handle area, don't you? See there where it connects on there. See, there is not a single corrosion mark of hand of deterioration. Even before it went in the sink overnight, there was no sign of muck around the heads there. You see there before you. This has probably cost a lot of money. The handle's not just a basic plastic handle, it's one of these handles it's one of these types of materials. It's like got a really nice texture to it. It's not just a plastic handle. It's got one of these really nice, soft type, grippy type, textury feel to it. It's really difficult to explain. I'd be frightened to use a Brillo pad on the handle, yeah. Get me? It's got the surface of it. It's not just plastic. It almost feels porous, the handle, yeah. And there was no dirt in that area. See the areas there which you'd expect to find when an item in kitchen's been used. You'd expect dirt to accumulate in like areas like that, wouldn't you? There was not a single, even before I put it in the sink overnight, there was just not a single piece of muck in that area. I just put it in the sink overnight for hygiene reasons, yeah, because of where I found it. That fab screw there, it's not even loose to the pan even. So, it can be used forever. It's one of these really good quality pans. See there now, can't you? How beautiful. And it's like that throughout. There's not a single mark. Now once I move away from those two silver heads there, it's going to lose focus. It's going to have the inability to focus on the non-stick surface. But take my word for it, there's not a single chip or mark, not even a mark in the whole surface. It's going to lose completely. It's going to completely. But in regards to any marks, chips or scratches, wear and tear marks, there's not a single thing on it. Who throws away stuff like this? It was upside down, right? It was like that. How am I going to describe this now? Right, say my surface there is a skip, right? It was like that in the skip, with the handle sticking up. It was upside down, so the beautiful non-stick surface, right, was actually in contact with all the crap in the skip, and I was actually drawn to it. And maybe because it's midsummer and because the sun was reflecting off that my eye was drawn to the skip, to the item itself. I was just suddenly like, hey, what's that? I suddenly saw it, right, and I immediately picked it up because I could tell by looking at the base there that it was a quality frying pan. And you know what? I am after a pan as well. I am after, this one thing for my kitchen I'm after as well is a new frying pan. They're hard to find, aren't they, ones with nice non-stick surfaces? They're hard to find. Now see, I've taken off the macro, and I just wanted you to see close up the fact that there was no dints or dents on it, scratches. See there, now the glisten, see, that is what I found. It was that side down in the skip against all the rubbish. And it was all bricks and concrete, as if a house was getting gutted. But it's not like a supermarket's own pan, is it? Right. That is probably at least 10 UK pounds, isn't it? At least, isn't it? Found it in a skip. And I am actually after a pan, right? This is how mad this is. Get me right. Get onto this, right? This is how mad this is. Right. Pan I've been using, right, the pan I'm using today, right, I'm still using it today, is this thing, right. This I bought when I had my first flat when I got my first flat when I was in 1991. It has a beautiful non-stick surface, and I've really looked after the thing. But it's like half the size of that, right? But I've been using it all the time because frying pans are very hard to find. Inexpensive ones, that is, with a very good non-stick surface, right? And let's face it, right? If a frying pan hasn't got a very good non-stick surface, right, they're rubbish, aren't they? They're unusable, aren't they? There's obviously some wear and tear to this non-stick surface, but majority of this surface is fine. It's still very usable. But because I'm getting the odd imperfection to the non-stick surface, right? Because I'm getting the odd imperfection on it, of late I've been thinking, right, I would love to have a new frying pan. I've always done my own cooking, right? I always have since I left home, right? Since I left my parents' house, I've always done my own cooking. I've always had to buy things like this all my life. And I found this yesterday, upside down like that, in a skip. Right, let me prove to you, right? Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Let me prove to you the point where you can have a nice frying pan, right? But if it hasn't got a non-stick surface, right, then they're unusable. It doesn't have a non-stick surface. It's one of those generic pans, from a generic pan set. I've never been able to use it. As big as it is, and as nice and quite new, and look, the handle's quite nice. You can tighten up a screw in there. It's one of those pans you'd expect to have for a long time. But it does not have a non-stick surface. It's used, unless you just use it for frying eggs. It's rubbish. You can't use it. It's rendered useless. So when I saw that yesterday, I actually put it under my arm, and I actually took that to the shop with me while I went and bought the coffee. Right, and I was going on a nice summer's walk along the prom as well before, and en route to the shop where I was getting the coffee from. So I took that along my summer's walk. I had it under my arm for about an hour and a half, right, before I even bought the coffee. And then I brought it home from the shop where I bought the coffee. I was not prepared to lose out on this. The things you can find in a skip. And the stuff people throw away. Isn't it mad, eh? Isn't it mad? The stuff people throw away and what you find in a skip. The combination of those two things. Why would someone put that in a skip? To be disposed of? Just a slight stain. Why? Anyway, there it is for you. Discuss. Why, man? Isn't it mad that? Found it in a skip.